Chapter 3. The next day, Magnus woke early and the giant gave him another job to do. Before he went out into the fields to tend his goats, he was to fetch the giant's favorite horse from the paddock. And leave it outside. Magnus could hardly believe his eyes. Was that all? All this time he'd been bossed around by the king to do this, do that, and here was the giant who everybody said couldn't be trusted, giving him the easiest life ever. He couldn't help but smile. Before he went, the giant warned Magnus one more time not to go snooping around the castle. Magnus promised not to snoop, but no sooner had the giant closed the front door than he ran straight to the kitchen to talk to Kara. Once again, they chatted all morning until Magnus remembered the job he had to do. He told Kara all about the horse he had to fetch. Kara went pale. That horse is a ferocious beast, she said. The only way to fetch it down is to hold the reins out in front of you like this. Kara took the reins and showed Magnus what to do. Magnus laughed. He'd never heard anything so ridiculous. He put reins on horses before, or at least he'd seen his servants do it. And that was definitely not the way it was done. He'd shown Kara how to do it properly. Magnus reared up to the paddock, and there was the giant's horse. It looked as timid as a pet pony. Magnus scoffed. Furious? Kara clearly didn't know what she was talking about. He strolled over, the reins looped over his arm, and stretched out a hand to pat the horse's neck. No sooner had he stretched out his hand than the beast's eyes glowed red. Fire flew from its nostrils, and it snarled like a dragon. Magnus turned and ran, but the horse was hot on his heels. In desperation, Magnus dived into a water tub to escape. When the horse had calmed down, Magnus remembered what Kara had said. Maybe she did know a thing or two about horses. After all, he held out the reins as she'd shown him, and as Magnus approached, the horse remained calm and as timid as it's been before. Magnus led it down to the castle where the giant waited. Any problems? Sniffed the giant. Magnus smiled. No problem. The giant raised an eyebrow. You haven't been snooping around my castle, have you? He asked. Or been talking to my maid Kara? Magnus shook his head. I don't know what you're talking about, he said. Who's Kara? And with a smile, he headed off to bed. The next morning, Magnus woke up feeling happier than ever. Working for the giant was much better than